I'm leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time, 'cause now I'm moving on, yeah, I'm moving on. And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and lose all sense of time. I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream, you know what I mean. The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs, the fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young. I'm leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time, 'cause now I'm moving on, yeah, I'm moving on. And there's a place that I've dreamed of, where I can free my mind. I hear the sounds of the season and lose all sense of time. I'm moving far away to a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream, you know what I mean. The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs, the fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young. To a sunny place where it's just you and me. Feels like we're in a dream, you know what I mean. The summer air by the seaside, the way it fills our lungs, the fire burns in the night sky. This life will keep us young, yeah, keep us young.
These are just £9, really cheap clip-in extensions from Amazon. I really like them. I would love to have hair like this. I've just put them in for the first time just to try them out. They are very, very long, so Jack was going to cut them for me, but then I never ended up wearing them, so I decided to put them on just to see what they look like, and I really like them. The thing is, I can't stop doing this. I know that I'm going to be doing this throughout the whole video, but it's so bizarre to have hair. I feel like Rapunzel. So when I was younger, I did actually have hair this long. When I was about 8 or 9, my hair was this long. When I got head lice, my mum decided to get my hair cut into a bob because that was apparently the easiest option. Sorry, this could be incredibly annoying for you. Yes, when I was 10, oops, I got head lice and my mum decided to just chop all my hair off, give me a bob. And I haven't had long hair since, because you know when it's in that annoying stage where it's not long, it's not short, it's just in that really crap mid-length, you can't really do anything with it, it's kind of flicky, kind of not. I can't get my hair past that stage. I'm constantly stuck in this hair limbo of really short hair, but desperately wanting really long hair. I need to stop playing with the hair. Right, we're just going to start again. I just stab my backside on a cactus. This video is going to be awkward as bollocks. I am sat in the most awkward position. I am on my knees. They're going to be matted as fuck by the time I finish this video. I do apologise about touching my hair throughout the entire video because I'm just not used to having anything touching my boobs.
Don't have sex, because you will get pregnant and die.
Living in my boyfriend's parents' house is probably the best form of birth control. It's not even funny anymore. Alexa, what's the date today? Hello everybody, today is Wednesday the 14th of July 2021. It has been 3 months since I've sat down, or maybe even longer, since I've sat down and spoke to a camera. I wanted to be productive because it's my day off, and I was like, I'm gonna make a video because this is the only day that there is no one working in the study, which is just behind that wall. No one else is home, so this is the only fucking time I've ever had a chance to sit down and talk to you. Hello. Sorry the light keeps changing because I've lost the lead to my trusty ring light, which I've tried to make very aesthetically pleasing for you because these are IKEA's finest plastic plants. Look how cute that is. It's not aesthetic in the slightest, but I don't care. I've said this before, but I live in a bedroom where there's a house load of stuff in one room. So we moved from a house to a flat to a flat to a room, and we have the same amount of stuff from that house and that flat in one room. There's a couple of bits in storage here and there, and at my nan's house, yeah, this room is just constantly a shit heap. I like stuff. I'm not necessarily materialistic, I just like things. Honestly, about 85% of the stuff in this room is mine. But like I always say, I try to be like a real YouTuber. I know no one gives a shit and no one really watches my videos anymore. I love watching people that I relate to. Even though sometimes I like watching like the fancy vlogs and not like my life, sometimes I want someone I can actually relate to and be like, oh, they're struggling with money like me, they live in a tiny room like me, they're working a minimum wage job like me. You just want someone that you can actually relate to. I'm not being like, oh, relate to me. I'm all about this bullshit about faking your life. I'm a waitress, I hate my job, but I'm very lucky to have my job because it's my 4th job throughout the pandemic. I live in my boyfriend's parents' house, which we're very grateful for because we're meant to be saving for a mortgage, but Jack has just bought his own barbershop, so that's kind of become priority at the moment. That's kind of what's happening. Each day is just plodding along, paying our bills, trying to do some fun stuff here and there. We did just treat ourselves and go down to Brighton for 4 days, which was fucking amazing. And then Jack went to a stag do in Bournemouth, so we spent all of the money that I've worked so fucking laboriously hard for. So now we're back to the daily grind. I was going to make the effort and I was going to film on my camera, and then I didn't. I haven't done this in ages. I'm getting a headache. Like, not a headache, my head is aching. This is very weighty. I just put them on because I came back from work feeling and looking a bit like crap because, you know, it's that time of the month. So spots, feeling a little bit crappy, you know how it goes. Netflix recommends. I don't really remember all that I've watched since I've last seen you. I can literally remember the last 2 recent things, so I'll tell you about those. I watched a series called The Deceived. It's a 4-part series. If you want something to like binge on a day off or a weekend, it is a drama thriller. I really liked it. Yeah, I would kind of compare it to Behind Our Eyes, just not a supernatural element to it, but it's really good. Then I watched a film on my break yesterday. I had a 3-hour break. They love doing split shifts at my job, so I did 12 till 3, 6 till 11. I don't really live close enough to like drive there and back. Petrol is fucking expensive. I literally sit in my car on my break and I get food from Aldi and I watch Netflix. I watched a film called #Alive, which is a Chinese, a Korean or Japanese film. I cannot remember which, but it is dubbed over because it's Netflix. Us English people are very lazy and don't like reading subtitles, although I don't mind it. I'm honestly the worst one for putting subtitles on just because the bloody app just crashed. I film on an app called Super 16 if I film on my phone, usually. The whole app just crashed and I had filmed about 45 minutes of a video, so I don't know where the bloody hell I got up to. It was going so well. The whole thing is fucked up. Hello, I know it's like a split second for you and nothing has changed, but 45 minutes had passed. I had filmed the entire thing, pressed stop, everything was dandy, and it didn't save. So the last clip that I have that is working was I was talking about Netflix shows. So we're just gonna start from there. Just gonna start from there again. You know when you haven't filmed in ages, like you haven't vlogged and just sat here and spoke to a camera on your own, and you find it really awkward? I don't really understand why, because I'm just talking to myself. And even when it's on YouTube, I'll probably still be talking to myself because no one gives a fuck about my channel or videos anymore, and I just edit them for me. But that's fine. I like making videos. I'm going to carry on doing it anyway. We were talking about the zombie film that I watched called #Alive. I'm not the biggest fan of zombie films. Like, I like Shaun of the Dead, Warm Bodies, watched a little bit of Black Summer. They all just kind of regurgitate the same shit. Every single horror film is the same. Will I stop watching horrors? No. Horrors and thrillers over an action film any day. Although I did watch Black Widow and I really liked it. DC and Marvel, like, I know that they're different fan bases. I don't know which one is which. I don't follow the Avengers. I don't follow the Marvel universe, the DC universe. I have watched Captain America, which I really like, and Iron Man. I've watched one of the Avengers. I don't really know what Avengers it was. Black Widow. I really like X-Men. The New Mutants, which I watched at Christmas time. I know it was like 6 months ago. But I really like the New Mutants. I even choose comedy before action, or films about the Holocaust, or war films. I think I spoke about that before, so I won't ramble on about that. I love watching films about the Holocaust from different sides, from the German side, French, Polish. Shut up, Sarah. No one gives a shit. So Luca. I watched Luca. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I would compare it to Coco, which I loved Coco. I watched the ᴜᵱⁿᵈᵉ documentary, which is about the YouTuber ᴜᵱ�ᵈ.
Duh.
So I've been doing YouTube videos since 1 year after the platform actually opened. I feel ridiculously old. And for me, it was really nostalgic. I did used to watch ᴜᵱ�ᵈ, and it just made me think about YouTube gatherings when they were free in a field and you used to record videos on like a 0.3 megapixel camera, blue tacked to the top of your monitor. It'd be like editing in Windows Movie Maker, and YouTube's HD would be 360 or max like 480p. I actually made YouTube videos in 4:3 before widescreen was even accepted on the platform. Fuck, I'm old. I watched The Conjuring Part 3, which I really didn't like, and I watched The Quiet Place Part 2, which I really didn't like. I haven't actually been in the cinema since March 2020. I'd like to go and see the new Purge and Escape Room. I will go to cinema eventually, because I'm very hypocritical and I'm like, it's very important to support cinema. And then I sit at home and I watch. There's an app called Cinema APK, which you can download on Fire Sticks and Android, where you can get all the latest films. And I just sit there and I watch the latest films. So even though the cinemas have reopened, they are doing very limited screenings. So I can never go to the cinema after work, whereas they used to do like a 10 o'clock showing and a midnight showing. They don't. They all stop at like 6, 7 o'clock. I understand why. They've been in the shit for the last 16 months. Just reopened and they're trying to stay afloat. They've probably got very limited staff, so limited viewings, but it's just a bit hard to go to the cinema at the moment. The new Fear Street films, I've watched the first 2. There's that 94, 78. Scream is one of my favourite franchises. I don't know why. I love it. I've always loved the Scream franchise. Any slasher or like Friday the 13th. I love all of the slashers. Halloween. Whereas Jack, my boyfriend, he hates slasher films. Just something a lot more sinister about someone, just a normal guy walking around in a mask with a knife killing people. I know there's a new Halloween film coming out at some point this year. There was a new Halloween film out that was out a couple of years ago. Whichever the latest Halloween film was, I remember when I saw that and I was really disappointed. But I know that there is another new Halloween film coming out either this year or next year. It's been pushed back because of COVID. But they're always so disappointing and I'll still go and see them anyway. I feel like most horrors are the same regurgitated bullshit, and yet I will still go and see them. I really like the Purge films though. I didn't know there was a new one coming out, but it's coming out this Friday. I don't know why I didn't start the video with this, seeing as there was like a little montage from my trip to London at the start of this video. But after 16 months, I finally saw a musical. Makes me so unbelievably happy. If you know me, my videos for a while, just you know me in general, you know that I absolutely love musicals. I have seen Wicked 13 times. I have seen pretty much everything in the West End. I just love musicals. Not being able to go to the theatre was actually it's quite upsetting. I didn't really give a shit about going to a pub for a drink, being able to go shopping, go to the cinema. Like I did a little bit, but my main thing was I cannot wait to go and see a musical. Not everything has reopened yet. A lot of things aren't opening until September, October, even next year. I managed to go and see Cinderella with Carrie Hope-Fletcher, who I haven't seen since I saw her in Heathers, which is fucking amazing. What I will say is, spoilers, 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 spoilers. What's it saying? Spoilers, 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 spoilers. If, like me, you don't want to know anything about Cinderella before you go see it, which I am going to tell you is the best way, because I knew absolutely nothing except I had heard Carrie sing Bad Cinderella. That was it. I knew nothing about it. That is going to be the best way for you to see it. So please stop watching the video here. Maybe just skip a little bit. Just don't listen to the spoilers. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Well, you're still here, so I'm guessing you're okay with the spoilers. Hello. I didn't really know what to expect. So the story in a nutshell, you've got Cinderella, you've got Prince Sebastian, who is not Prince Charming, he's Prince Charming's brother. Now, Prince Charming has died, and so Prince Sebastian has to step up and find a wife. Belleville's in trouble, it's going under, it's got no money, it hasn't won the award for best town 50 years running. So Belleville prides itself on being the best town ever and winning this award every year, and they didn't win it because Cinderella fucked it all up by graffitiing a statue of Prince Charming. This is supposed to be in a nutshell for you. Long story not so short is Cinderella and Sebastian have been best friends since childhood. Cinderella is a scullery maid, her father died, her stepmother lives in her dad's house, and her sisters are horrible. The same old story. So Sebastian is forced to hold a ball to find a wife. He likes Cinderella, Cinderella likes him, but they just call each other pricks and knobs, and they don't really admit that they like each other. And then the plot twist, which I didn't expect. I just thought, you know, Cinderella and Sebastian are going to get together. Prince Charming isn't dead. Barges through the door and he declares that the reason that he left Belleville in the first place is because he couldn't be with his one true love, which was this Duke, who is a guy. So Prince Charming is gay, which I absolutely love, and it just made my heart so happy because it's just, no one was like, oh, apart from the homophobic couple next to me, I was sat next to, like socially distanced, but sat next to a elderly couple who were clapping all the way through. They were loving it, it was brilliant, until the prince declared his love for this duke and they kissed. Then the people next to me were not so happy, and I understand that it's a generational thing, but that is not an excuse for being a knob. They were not happy that the prince was gay. I thought it was great, did not expect it, so this is why I say spoilers, because you just kind of think it's going to be the conventional tale of Cinderella, and then it's not. Cinderella and Sebastian get together and they run away and have their little happily ever after, but it's not solely about Cinderella and Sebastian. It's just really nice because the whole town is accepting, his mum is accepting, and everyone is happy, and Belleville is like the best place to live again. The one thing that I think really let Cinderella down was the score. Most of the songs, and I love musicals, genuinely love all musicals, and I did still love Cinderella, but the score was shit. It was absolute crap. For me, if I don't want to go home and listen to the soundtrack, is how I know if I think the score is good or not. There was 3 songs that were used repetitively, and it's fine to use a song again as a reprise, you know, that's fine. But there was 3 songs that were constantly regurgitated through the entirety of the show because they knew that they were good and they were catchy, and everything else was just pure shite. In my opinion, I just didn't think they were memorable. I thought they were very messy, they weren't very melodic, everything was just thrown together, and it was not very Andrew Lloyd Webber for me. The songs that I actually liked were Bad Cinderella, So Long, and I Know You. All 3 of them, I think, had a reprise throughout the show as well, and they were also used again a 3rd time as well. I think if you have to regurgitate the same tunes, you know that they're the ones that people are going to remember, and nothing else for me was memorable. I absolutely loved the stepmother, or stepmama. It does actually say in here that she based her character on Joanna Lumley, and I think even if I hadn't have read that, honestly, it comes across so well. She was probably my favourite character. You just have to go and see the show. It's something that I can't explain how she acted it. If you like Joanna Lumley, it's really, really good. Even though the score let it down, everything else, the cast, the adult jokes, the humour, the script, everything else about it I loved. I just didn't like a lot of the songs. But yeah, the stepmother was great. Carrie was amazing. I didn't see the guy who was originally cast as the prince. I saw Matt Hamway. I think it was his first ever time playing the prince because the previous guy had an injury, and so Matt stepped in and he was bloody amazing. You wouldn't have known that was his first time playing the prince. I think what else I could say, I loved the sisters, and you're supposed to hate the sisters, but I absolutely loved them. Wicked, defying gravity, popular. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Wicked. I can't wait to go and see another musical. I don't think it's going to be very feasible this year because a lot of shows haven't even come back yet. Tickets are incredibly expensive to make up for the loss due to COVID, which I do understand, and they're working at sort of 60-70% or some even 50% theatre capacity to allow for social distancing. So tickets are incredibly expensive. So another thing that I liked about the show was that if you were sat in the stalls, I don't know if they mentioned this when you buy the tickets because I was sat in the dress circle, not the stalls. The stage, just on a turntable, got the stalls, the dress circle, grand circle. The stalls actually end up where the stage is, and the stage ends up where the stalls are. Even though I think a lot of the music is crap, I would definitely go and see Cinderella because everything else about this makes it worth it. Jack went to Bournemouth for a stag do on the Friday, so I was like, fuck it. The Thursday night, I booked a ticket to go see Cinderella. It was like my last little treat to myself for a while because I came back and I'm broke as fuck. But it was so worth it. We were classing Brighton as a holiday because we haven't got passports, and also Jack has not had his COVID vaccine and he will not be having his COVID vaccine, so we can't actually travel to and from places anyway. And also, we cannot afford to self-isolate for 10 days when we come back. I just think travelling is going to be out of the question for the near future. The only thing that I will say, and it was a really small price to pay for being in a theatre, so I am not complaining by any means, because I don't see how being in a theatre differs from being in a restaurant. If you can take your mask off when you're sitting down and you're eating in a restaurant, why can you not take your mask off in a theatre? You did have to keep your mask on for the entire performance. They actually played a message from Andrew Lloyd Webber at the start, and it was about how he doesn't use any recirculated air in his theatre, and yet you still have to keep your mask on. To make it a bit lighthearted, he was like, I know someone that's kept their mask on for 30 years now and he's had no trouble, talking about the Phantom. It was the second musical that I saw, but I saw Cats and then I saw Phantom. I've always been a massive fan of Andrew. I was absolutely obsessed with Phantom. To me, there's no difference between being in a theatre and being in a restaurant. You know, you're even more socially distanced in a theatre because they have physically blocked the seats either side of you. And it was a very small price to pay to be back in a theatre. It's just a way of life now, isn't it? But Cinderella, she's a loner, I don't even know the words. I'm not home alone now, otherwise I would sing. I miss singing so much. The only time I can sing is when I screech along to Olivia Rodrigo in my car. If I was to ever get OnlyFans back, that would look so nice. I am genuinely contemplating getting back OnlyFans. I need a decent income. I went to Chinatown the other day and I got some grape mochi mochi. These are so good. I don't even really know what they are. They're really, really nice. I want to try putting these in the freezer. It'd be really good. I don't even know what the bloody Super Bowl is, and I still get jumpers with like Super Bowl Championship. That's cool. I didn't realise it's from '92. Crochet bandana. I'm in love with bucket hats, but I didn't have any plain ones other than a denim one, so I got 2 bucket hats. There's a really cute headscarf. You would hold it down with bobby pins to get it how you like. I got some gin. Gin is my go-to tipple. I did upload a Brighton vlog, so if you do want to go see it, I'll put a link somewhere. I was actually going to mention this CBD chocolate that I've been really enjoying at the moment, but I ate it all because my anxiety came back at full force because it hates real life. It is, I think it's called the Wizards CBD chocolate. It's £3 and you can buy it from Sainsbury's. In case anyone else is interested, I do still have a code for calm drinks and trip drinks, CBD gummies, CBD drinks, CBD oils. I am definitely an advocate. I am an advocate for all things CBD because I genuinely think it works. Or it could just be a placebo. I don't know, but it works for me. Use my links, get some money off. I think you can get £10 off calm drinks at the moment with the code. There is a code or a link for Trip as well. Both are very good brands. I'm going to talk about books. I haven't honestly had the chance to read or buy any books, except this is The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. I spoke about The Midnight Library, which is by Matt Haig before, which I really liked. I just thought it was going to be this nice little pick-me-up book. So I just like reading books about mental health and anxiety and depression, and it's honestly just like he's googled quotes and he's put them in a book and he's charging people £9 to read them. But that is only the first few pages, so I am going to still continue. I have liked his previous books. It's okay to be broken, it's okay to be a mess, it's okay to be who you are. I understand the point of it, I just at the moment I'm not really loving it. Your worth is you, your worth is your presence, your worth is right there, your worth isn't something you earn, your worth isn't something you buy. Your worth isn't something you gain through status or popularity or stomach crunches or having a really chic kitchen. Your worth is your existence. You were born with worth, as all babies are, and that worth doesn't disappear simply because you have grown a little older. You are a human being. See, that I liked. I did really like that. I think I might have changed my opinion about this book in the last 2 minutes of actually reading some more of it on camera. If, like me, you love books, I have a code to get £4 off a box of stories, which I have previously mentioned in a video. I think a normal box is only about £13 anyway, but you get £4 off with my code. You can choose a box of books, so a specific genre, or you can get a mixed box, and they are all books that would have previously been wasted, thrown out, gotten rid of. Yeah, have a little look-see. It's called a box of stories. As soon as it hits like July, I don't even care about the summer anymore. I just cannot wait for autumn. I was looking at my hair like, oh, I wonder how long I'm going to keep my hair orange for. And I was like, oh, orange, autumn. Yeah, and then I just started thinking about all the things I like doing in autumn. The burr months, so like September, October, November, December are my favourite months. Halloween, bonfire night, Christmas. I can't wait. I bought this face mask called Glen Coco. Yeah, it is a chocolatey face mask. It smells so good. I could genuinely eat this. So I bought these jeans in Brighton and they were really tight on me. What is going on? It's getting rid of my pins and needles. I think I'm going to make a whole video on this because I can't bother to sit here and rant about COVID and vaccines and stuff. But sorry, I got a really itchy nose. But I am fully vaccinated. I got vaccinated at Boots, so I had to have the AstraZeneca vaccine. Kind of jumped into it. I just thought that was the right thing to do. I got it done. And it's only now, I find it incredibly hard to talk about COVID and the vaccines and things because even my own opinions, I have different opinions that are just so contradicting of each other, but I believe both of the opinions. It's kind of hard to explain, and I know that everyone else is going to have their own opinions, and it's something that people are going to have very different opinions on, and it can easily start an argument and a debate, and that's not what I necessarily want. Obviously everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but I know that a lot of the opinions I have, they do contradict each other, and I'm very aware of that, and so that's why it's really hard to talk about, and I'm trying to explain it in a way you'll understand. So for example, I am glad that I had the vaccine, but I am also wish I'd never had it. So I'm glad that I had it because I am protected against COVID, and that was the thing that I should have done, and it was so I could see my nan and I could keep my nan safe. But then on the flip side is my other half, Jack, he refuses to get the vaccine, and I used to think that was really stupid, and I was like, why? Like, you're being an idiot. But actually he made a very good point of, even if I have the vaccine and my nan has the vaccine, we can still carry COVID, we can still give it to someone else, we can still contract it ourselves, we can still give it to each other. It just dims the symptoms, which, yes, is good. Something that could be life-threatening to someone is now not necessarily life-threatening, and that is fantastic. But what is the point of getting a vaccine that doesn't actually stop you? It doesn't change, nothing has changed in my life from getting the vaccine. I feel like it's something that needs to be talked about, but it is incredibly hard to talk about. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I had to have the AstraZeneca, even though I really wanted the Pfizer vaccine. I'm not really too sure why I wanted Pfizer. I had just heard very positive things about Pfizer and more side effects and everything from the AstraZeneca. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I researched them and things. I didn't. It was just things I'd heard through the grapevine, on the TV, on the news, and I already recorded this clip once and the bullshit app closed down again. I don't know why I'm continuing to use it. I feel like I rushed into having the vaccine, and I had the vaccine because that's what I was supposed to do. Because that's what I wanted to do. So I feel like I rushed into getting it. You know, and think about it. It was brought out in a rush. We're in a fucking global pandemic. It couldn't possibly have been more tested, because the only way to do more testing is to do long-term testing. And it physically could not be long-term tested because they had to roll the vaccine out. That's the thing. My period was late. It was about 3 weeks late, and I've never been late for the 18 years that I've had my period. TMI, but I've always been spot on, always on time, and so this was really weird. I didn't even like connect the dots, and I didn't even think about it being the COVID vaccine. I took a pregnancy test, although living in your boyfriend's parents' house, like I've said, is the best contraceptive, so I knew I wasn't pregnant. Took a pregnancy test for peace of mind. It wasn't that. I thought it could be stress, so there was me like googling what it could mean, be late for your period but it not be related to pregnancy. The first thing that came up was so many people writing on forums and just on social media about the COVID vaccine and their periods being late. And so when I went back to get my second dose, she was like, have you experienced any side effects? And I was like, well, the only side effect I had was my period being late. She was fucking adamant this was nothing to do with the COVID vaccine, and it was absolute bullshit, and there must have been another reason as to why my period was late. And I knew it wasn't, because like I said, my period was like clockwork. So I knew it was the COVID vaccine, and so many other people had experienced the same thing as me. I had the second dose. About a week or two later, it suddenly came out that the COVID vaccine, or well, all of the vaccines, so AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, they were all linked to changes in your menstruation. You couldn't pinpoint why. They didn't know why. They didn't know what the changes were. They didn't know long term what it was doing. They just knew that such and such amount of women had said that they had experienced late periods, changes in their menstruation, changes in their flow, changes with anything to do with their menstruation. And so suddenly it clicked that, oh well, this actually must be linked to the COVID vaccine. It just kind of got me thinking that if she was, the doctor that gave me, that administered the vaccine, if she was so adamant, or she had been told to say that it was nothing, that side effect was nothing to do with the vaccine, and then suddenly a few weeks later, oh wait, no, it is. So many people have said that they've experienced the same thing, so shit, yeah, that is, it is linked to the COVID vaccine. They didn't know that. And they couldn't have possibly known that because it hadn't been long-term tested. And so people had the first dose, and then they, it was a month and a half later, people should have been getting their periods and they didn't, or they then experienced the changes, and then it came about that COVID vaccine can affect menstruation. So then it just got me thinking, okay, so again, people that are in their 20s and their 30s and they've had the vaccine and they're going to be trying to conceive a child maybe a year or two down the line or soon, and then they suddenly have trouble getting pregnant, only then will they know if that could then be linked to the COVID vaccine. And it just made me think that they don't know if this is going to decrease the chance of getting pregnant. They don't know that because they can't know that yet. And so now I feel like I rushed into getting the vaccine, and now I'm having all these, not necessarily, it's like I'm glad that I had it, and I'm so happy that people like my nan and people with autoimmune disorders and suppressed immune systems and people that needed to get the vaccine, I'm so happy that they were able to get a vaccine. But for me, suddenly now I'm thinking about all the things that we don't know and couldn't possibly know yet about the vaccine, and has that affected my chances of getting pregnant? Is it going to come out in 2 years' time that actually everyone that had the AstraZeneca or the Pfizer, it's screwed up your chances, or it's significantly decreased your chance of getting pregnant? We don't know, and you couldn't possibly know. Like I said, I am glad that I had it, and that I could see my nan and I could hug my nan again, and I'm so happy that she was able to resume having a social life and going out, and she didn't have so much fear. She was living in fear for a year, and it didn't really, even though I do have a heart condition, it didn't really hit home with me as hard because I was living with people. I didn't feel the loneliness and the isolation and the fear of, if I contract COVID, I'm going to die. There was still like a tiny bit, obviously, because people that were still fit and healthy, and I know it wasn't completely unheard of that younger people, young, fit, healthy people were getting COVID and dying, because that did happen, and it is still very much, I know it's happening. I believe that it isn't just flu, and that it shouldn't just be popped in the same box as flu, because it did kill so many people, and it is still killing so many people, and it has affected the economy and everything. Flu kills so many people a year. Flu has a vaccine that suppresses the symptoms but doesn't fully get rid of the symptoms. You can still get flu when you've had the flu vaccine. There are multiple strains of flu, and each year the vaccine is different to whatever the strain of flu is that year. You have to have a booster. You can die from flu. You could equally be fine from flu. It can affect more people than others. As much as I want to say that COVID is on a completely different level to flu, it's not. You know what I mean? I have two conflicting sides of opinions. It's fucking gone and corrupted the file again. I'm never going to get through this video, so I'm just going to cut it short, and I don't even know what it has saved that I was talking about. I had so many good points, and it's just corrupted the file again. I'm just going to sum up rather than, I just recorded a massive long clip about this, and I cannot be fucking bothered anymore. What I don't understand is that you are not forced into having a flu jab, but you're being penalised for not having a COVID vaccine. Something that is so similar and can still affect elderly people and people with suppressed immune systems, autoimmune disorders, people with pre-existing health conditions. Flu can still kill those people. COVID can kill those people. There is a new strain of COVID every few months. There is a new strain of flu every year. You have to have a booster with flu. You have to have a booster with COVID. You can still contract flu after having the flu vaccine. You can still contract and pass on COVID after having the COVID vaccine. They are so similar, yet I know they are different, but you cannot penalise people for choosing not to have a vaccine, which is their human right to choose with a lot of vaccines. Even the ones that you get from birth, parents can choose whether their kids have the MMR, so measles, mumps, rubella, and a kid that contracts measles and passes it on to a pregnant woman or an older male, that can be life-threatening for the fetus, the woman that's pregnant, but it can be nothing to the child that has measles. And yet the MMR is not mandatory. You don't have to get your kids vaccinated. There are so many people that are anti-vaxxers. Yes, it's frowned upon, and I think it's fucking stupid to not get your kids vaccinated and to think that it is related to your kids contracting. I've honestly heard of people saying that they contract autism after getting the vaccine. Your child is born with autism. They are born autistic. It is their personality trait. Autism isn't something they have. It's not a disease. It is them as a person. It's stupid to say that a vaccine has caused your child to have those specific personality traits and the way they think and feel and express themselves. And I just think that is a whole other topic. If you're going to be that stupid and that naive to think that a vaccine has done that to your child, but that is just my opinion. Again, I have not done research, that is my opinion, because I know many autistic people and people that have autism that are on the spectrum. That is just who they are. That is not something caused them to be that way. Like neurotypical people and neurodiverse people, I'm just going to stop there. I would love to hear other people's opinions, because sometimes you can only see what you want to see, and I'm not saying that my opinion is right. That is just exactly that. It's an opinion, and I just think people should not be penalised for not having the COVID vaccine. But equally, be safe, be mindful, be responsible. People think it's a good thing that we haven't gotten colds in over a year. That is not a good thing. That is weakening our immune system. That is not, we are not exposing our immune systems to what they need to be exposed to. And so in the long run, that's not great. Long story short, I realised while my phone was fucking up, I've literally got 100 megabytes of memory left, and so it is fucking up everything. So I will see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's been a bit all over the place. I need to delete some shit off my phone, or actually bother to get my camera out. Yes, and I will see you all very soon. If you watched until the end, do you remember when you used to say that? If you watched until the end, comment Haribo. I bet no one's watched until the end. But I love you all. Thank you for watching. Bye!